You gonna Discord it?
No, it automatically goes to Discord.
Oh, nice. Okay, sweet.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Nintendo Prime Podcast. Episode, what was it, 77 we said?
77.
77. Now, I am aware at the time of recording this, at the time of streaming it, that we have not gotten the audio versions up yet of episode 75 and 76. They're sitting on my desktop. It is on my to-do list for tomorrow, so those should actually appear online before the audio version of this one, and then this one should arrive to our patrons on Sunday, and then obviously to the world on Monday. I know it's a little weird because we are live streaming this when I didn't originally plan to live stream it this week, but there's a reason. We're going to have a little Q&A part at the end that I wanted to address something, and I figured, you know what? At this point, we're kind of thrown off because we were watching the Packer preseason game anyways, so that kind of threw off all my plans. So at this point, we'll just get back to our regular podcast being pre-recorded next week. Plus, this gives me an extra week to get the other podcast going again. We have some awesome topics to cover in this podcast because we did not have one last week because I was just really sick. I tried. I did other things in life. I got videos out, but I was hacking up a lung, and I still technically have a cold. I just coughed a moment ago, but it's not that bad. I'm pretty much at the tail end of it. It's just getting over that last bit of that sinus infection stuff. But I'll be all right. So, obviously, I'm your host, Nathaniel Rumpel-Jantz, the owner and operator of Nintendo Prime. And over there, I have our co-host, Mr. Eric Moore.
Hello.
And we had a new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. The thing is that this week we are going to spend a lot of time on our first topic. Because we're talking about the Filip Miucin, I don't really know how to pronounce that last name, to be honest, situation.
Sure, why not?
We've talked a lot about, or I've talked a lot about it, I should say, over the past week and a half as things have unfolded, as new information has come out. And yes, even more new information has come out, which is the crazy thing. It's like, it's a story that just keeps on giving. And it sucks because it's not really a good story. At this point, the more stuff that comes out, it's starting to become a little comical.
No,
to
boy.
be honest, at this point.
Oh, boy.
But there is some issues with this story, and I think for the sake of this podcast, we're just going to talk about the situation, give a summary on it, and go from there. So first, I'm going to throw to Eric. What do you know about this situation? You haven't followed a lot of it, but I told you a little bit. What do you
know? I know he plagiarized, a couple of different things. I know it's gotten worse. The more things that have come out, and they've basically removed everything and anything of his from IGN. And it's he came out and quote unquote apologized.
Technically, I have to say, everyone has said it was an apology, quote unquote apology. Yeah. He never called it an apology.
Yeah.
He said,
explanation. His side of the story. Yes. Yeah. He gave his side of the story. So I guess not.
The only people he apologized to was IGN, and the apology
that's true.
to IGN wasn't for his actions.
Right. No,
it was I apologize that people are attacking you.
Yeah.
When they should just attack me.
Yeah.
So I'm not apologizing for what I did that caused it, but I'm apologizing that other people are choosing to attack you.
Right. Because other people
instead of just attacking you.
Yeah. So that's kind of most of what I know.
Yeah. So to kind of give the full background here, it originally started with Boomstick Gaming, YouTube channel, put up a video, saying IGN stole my review. What do I do? And he was just very curious. He only had 7,000 subscribers. There's been a lot of numbers that have gone back. I've actually gone back and looked at the archive Wayback Machine. He only had 7,000 subs at the time. Mm-hmm. That when he put up that video. Now he's like 72, 73, 74. He's got a lot. He's way bigger than we are now. He's probably a bigger deal than we are too. I know his most recent review got a lot of views too. Anyways, he was just generally curious what to do. A small time YouTuber. How's IGN even going to care? Well, he put that up, and it got picked up by places like Reset Era and Reddit. And those are two huge gaming communities. And then obviously it went to Twitter, and it all blew up from there. And it turned out that Filip Miucin had essentially lifted Boomstick Gaming's review as his own and published it at IGN. And that's really what started everything. IGN investigated, found out the allegations were 100% true, immediately released him. And they didn't take down all his other stuff at that time. They weren't even looking into that stuff yet. But then then he did his apology video, his non-apology video, a video where he essentially said he did nothing wrong.
Right.
His explanation was bad, and his explanation asked for the internet to make everything worse.
He basically said that everybody on the internet. He basically says everybody on the internet does it that way.
Yeah, he basically said, so in the process of doing research, I read a bunch of things and to help formulate my opinions or my critical thought process or whatever he said.
No,
and based on my experience in the professional
that's the
video
thing.
Game review industry, this is how everybody does it, and that was what really pissed everyone off because pretty much every professional game reviewer came out and said, No, we do not read other people's reviews when writing our review. It does not
afterwards,
happen. Yeah,
yes.
But while you are writing the review and publishing the review, you never read anyone else's review. A professional reviewer does not do that. I know some people tried defending, well, what if it's good to get perspective. No. You're there to give your perspective,
it's
not
your
other people's.
review. It's your opinion.
People are coming to read what you have to think, not what you
anybody
have
else.
to think in context with what you read from other people.
Right.
The only information you need for a review is the information you get while playing the game. Right. Now, there's a few little things where it's okay to look up certain things. Like if you want to look up if there's a double jump in this game and it's part of a series, was it a double jump in the prior game? That's something you can look up, but that doesn't involve reading someone else's review of the game you currently play. You might read a review of the prior game, but that's fine. That's a different game, different experience.
Yes.
But yeah, anyways, a lot of people, especially at IGN, all of them got pissed. They're like, no. How did you get this impression? Nobody does this.
Yeah, right.
Like, there's a reason there hasn't been a case of plagiarism like this ever in the history of video game media.
Right.
Because it's just, that's not the process.
That's not how this works.
And everyone's kind of chastised him and went after him for that. Giant Bomb, in 2 straight podcasts now, they were the biggest gaming podcast in the world. They went after him, and they were like, no, that's not, like, some of them worked at GameSpot in the past, like, that's not how video game reviews are done, period.
Right. Writing articles, yes.
And then...
Not doing game reviews.
Yeah. Even worse in that whole non-apology video is that he addressed Kotaku, who made an allegation that he lifted another review. And this one, I think, from Nintendo Life at the time.
Yes.
And, he denied that allegation, said it's not true, and he dared Kotaku and the internet, to find anything on his channel that he has ever plagiarized because everything is 100% original content. That's what he claimed. That's what he said. He said it very confidently, and he denied it emphatically, which, you know what? If it was true, that would have been a nice defense.
Yeah.
So he challenged the internet. And he challenged Kotaku, and he challenged one of the best. I mean, Jason Schreier, regardless of what you think of Kotaku itself, Jason Schreier himself is one of the best, if not the best, video game journalists in the world. He gets such good exclusive scoops on things and does his homework. He's written books on the video game industry. So he came out and he fired back, and he's like, so you told me. He didn't even have to do the work. That was funny. By the time he got to writing a new article on it, the internet had already done the work for him.
Sure.
Oh, look, so you challenged us, huh? Well, it turns out you copied this review, and this review, and this review. Oh, half your news posts, by the way, are plagiarized from other websites that posted the same news 5 days earlier. And yes, everyone has the same information and the same stuff. We're not talking about copy-pasting a PR report. Yeah. Obviously, that's a press release. Everyone's going to have the same press release. We're talking word-for-word copies of extra information and opinions that other people gave on the news into his IGN news reports. And that caused IGN to be like, look, we've seen enough. We're going to take everything down. Yeah. We are going to review some of the more critical news pieces, see if they were plagiarized, and maybe bring some of them back up. I don't think they're going to ever bring them back up with his name. They mentioned they might have other writers that have rewrite some of the more critical stuff. Probably something like the Octopath Traveler interview They'll probably have someone else rewrite it, even though he did the interview and get that up, or something.
Yeah, I mean, you could always take his name
and
off.
Then IGN did contact, to IGN's credit, not only to do that, they contacted Boomstick Gaming and they offered him compensation. We don't know the details on it. We probably won't know the details. It's going to be behind the scenes.
Right.
But
it's all legal stuff, so I'm guessing it's...
Pierre came out on Twitter, who is the head guy at IGN, and said, yeah, we've contacted him and along the lines of offering him some sort of compensation, like a monetary compensation. Yeah. So, because that's what the guy wanted. He wanted basically, once it blew up, he's like, I really only want some monetary compensation for the views and everything. And it's not really how things work. Like, ad revenue is a very fickle thing, and I've been dealing with it for like decades now. It's very fickle. It doesn't really, like, just because you got 95,000 views and like that first, however many hours that review was up, doesn't necessarily mean you made that much money on it, because there's all the, especially the YouTube algorithm and all. It's just crazy. And then the ads on the website, like 95,000 views might have only made like $5, but to Boomstick Gaming, he's going to be valuing that way higher than that. So whatever. And obviously his stuff was stolen, so he has a right to value it at whatever he thinks his review was worth. But anyways, so all that goes down. And obviously Boomstick Gaming was the big winner out of all of this. His IGN plagiarism video has like 1.2, 1.3 million views at this point. And obviously his channel's blowing up, and he's probably well on his way to becoming a full-time YouTuber, which is something he probably never thought would happen. So good for him. As long as he continues to go down the right path and he continues to make excellent content, that's awesome. But it turns out that not only was that, like, pretty much every single video that people are examining of his on his channel was copied from somewhere else. His LinkedIn profile was using a template, which isn't uncommon, to be fair. Using a template for professional reasons like resumes, LinkedIn profiles, that's not unusual, but it just kind of feels funny considering that every other piece of professional work he's done has been copied, and so he even had to copy his LinkedIn profile for no real obvious reason to do that. But because it's a LinkedIn profile, it's something I give him a little slack on, but it's kind of funny. Apparently, the Octopath Traveler interview he contacted Spawnwave Media, John from Spawnwave, and asked him what some good questions would be to ask the developers behind Octopath Traveler, because he was about to have an interview coming up with them while he worked at IGN, and he admitted in there, because he hasn't been following the game and he doesn't know enough about it, but his job is the head Nintendo editor at IGN. How are you not following the only exclusive Switch game that has come out since Mario Tennis Aces? Like, your job is to follow these exclusive Switch games. How can you not Google Octopath Traveler and watch some trailers? Download the demo onto your stinking Switch and play it. The prologue demo was out there. He could have got all the information he wanted easily. Instead, he went to Spawnwave. And Spawnwave, not thinking much of it at the time, said, sure, here's what I would ask. And obviously, John from Spawnwave knows the stuff. He was following the game. He had some very good questions. And he used those questions verbatim, didn't even change up the wording, just copy-pasted them, and that's what he asked them. And I don't... That's not plagiarism, because John offered that to him freely. But it's just kind of one of those things that shows that he just doesn't know what he's doing. He fakes it. As some people say, you fake it till you make it. He faked it, and he made it. But once you're busted, like, that's the jig is up. But
once you make it, you might want to not stop. You might want to stop faking it.
He pretended that. Well, that's the thing. Like, oh, man. So Jeff Gershman over on I was listening to the latest Bombcast from Giant Bomb, and he's like, "Are we at a point where we actually have to ask, does this guy even play games?" Like, some people brought up his playtime on his Switch, right? Because some people are friends with him, so you can look at people's playtime on games if you allow it. He hasn't enabled. So, it says he has 40 hours in Dead Cells, but
that doesn't mean he played it.
Like, people are now wondering, like, but did he just turn on Dead Cells and just leave his Switch on, and then turn it off to bank up game time to fake that, like, because he knew that some people were friends with him, so to fake that he played all this time on Dead Cells. Now he wonders all his other stuff faked, because I got this feeling listening to the Nintendo voice chat, right? That I never liked Filip on the Nintendo voice chat. I gave him an excuse at first when he took over as host, because he appeared nervous. I get it. You're going from a YouTuber to living the dream. I get that you're not paying that well. That's fine. That's another thing we can talk about in a little bit. The IGN's got to do something about that if they want someone who's actually really good. But it's still, like, even me, if I was allowed to do it remotely, and live in Wisconsin, I would have gladly took that salary. You can't, because then you can't really be on a lot of their video features. I know I can do some stuff with the green screen, but that's not what they're looking for. They don't want you to be there in person for that Nintendo voice chat. And it just, as it went on, it became more and more clear. Like, if you listen to the voice chat, especially in hindsight now, you go back and watch, because all those old voice chat episodes are up, because of course they are. It's a podcast. They're not going to get rid of it. No. And you can't really plagiarize, like, live podcast stuff. He can't read something off of a screen from another website right in front of the person who runs all of IGN. But when you watch, all you'll see is that he brings up the topics, but he doesn't seem to know much information about the topics. Apparently, he was working on this piece about Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Ultimate after E3, and he contacted another person, a former employee of IGN or a current employee, I can't remember, and asked them why they think people play Smash Bros. And all she basically brought up was that, it's kind of like this big collection of taking a bunch of gaming history from Nintendo and other places and smashing it together into one game, and it just drives a lot of interest. And he's like, oh yeah, I never really thought about it. That's a very good perspective. I'm going to use that. It's like, how do you not know that about Smash Bros? Yeah. You're the lead Nintendo editor, a Nintendo YouTuber. How do you not know the bare basics of what makes Smash Bros appealing?
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't know all the movesets, the up Bs, the down Bs, all the crazy stuff, all the technical. You don't have to know that, but you should at least know the basics.
Right.
He doesn't even know the basics.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't even tell you which platform it started on. And I know some people say, well, he never owned a Wii U, so that should have been a warning sign. I don't think it mattered if he owned a Wii U. But what some people said is, like, every time they brought up any classic games, all he would ever mention are like the biggest and most popular and most well-known ones. Like, oh yeah, what's your favorite classic game? Like, oh yeah, A Link to the Past or Super Mario Brothers. Like, you would never hear him bring up something like, oh yeah, I played The Lion King on SNES, and it was actually a really, really good movie game. Like stuff like that clearly shows he played the system. Like, no,
Aladdin,
Aladdin. I mean, any obscure game. Home Alone 2, like, fun game on that platform. But these are games. And
I played E.T. on the Atari. Wait.
I remember that E.T. game being mentioned. Yeah, E.T. is my favorite Atari. So, like, he would only bring up the most obvious classic games. Which is fine. It's okay if the obvious ones are your favorites. Those are the ones you have the most fond memories of. I know I would bring up a lot of obvious ones, but I also played some obscure ones.
Yeah.
And so in a conversation about retro stuff, I would have more to say. He didn't really bring much to that. And then on the mainstream topics about the stuff going on currently today, he would kind of he would do what I do, what people accuse me in some of my videos, where I'll state my opinion, and then for the next 5 minutes, I'll restate that same opinion in 4 different ways, because I've been involved in a lot of conversations in my life where I'll say something one way and then people don't really understand it. So then I'll re-explain it. And so I subconsciously feel like when I'm making my videos, I need to do that. And it's fine if people don't like that. Whatever. It's my style. You don't have to enjoy it. It's okay. But that's all he would do. Someone else would give an opinion, and then he would just restate that opinion, which, ironically enough, he's stealing. But it's not really. But he would just restate it in a slightly different phrasing. Like, oh yeah, I'm just agreeing with you, and here's why. It's just the same thing, but different phrasing. And it's kind of like, in hindsight, it's like he never had like an original thought on the entire show for the 9 months or 7 months he was doing it.
Oh, I'm screwed.
You've had original thoughts, though. Like, I'm like Eric over here. He's not necessarily the most knowledgeable, right? Like, when we head into a podcast, in this Filip situation, I knew way more about it than him because he hasn't been actively following it. But he still knew about it. Yeah. We've talked about it a little bit. It's been going on for a week and a half, and it's such an embarrassment because the guy was a Nintendo YouTuber, a quickly growing Nintendo YouTuber, who then made it to IGN, and for a lot of us, it's like, oh my gosh, look at that. Like, you can actually get a career out of being a small-time Nintendo YouTuber and working at these big sites. You don't have to, like, slave away at a place like, I'm not saying people slave away at it, but, when I ran Zelda Informer or, at Nintendo Life or Go Nintendo, like, being these underlings that work for free for all these years to get experience to potentially get hired with their journalism degree. It's like, no, you have a journalism degree and you got success on YouTube and can get you noticed. And, and he didn't even have a journalism degree. But that's besides the point. A journalism degree...
You don't need one.
Well, like even, what is it, Greg Miller from Kinda Funny Games, he even said when he talked about this that, like, in today's video game world, you don't necessarily need a journalism degree because a lot of it's about on-air personalities at this point. So it's less about the act of journalism. It's more about the personality. However, there are some bare basics you need, and one is a massive passion for what you're talking about. And if you don't have it, you have no business talking about it. People don't want to hear a hack not giving any original thoughts or stealing other people's thoughts. And unfortunately, it appears to Philip's entire YouTube career, all his messages privately he had with all these people. He used to be on Spawncast, say like all these private messages. All of it was just terrible.
Yeah.
The guy, like in hindsight, like you didn't think anything at times he acted friendly, but in hindsight, it's like he's manipulating everyone to get ideas and get content ideas from them and use them for his own. He stole so many different YouTubers' video ideas and then would go around in the comments when someone would bring it up and be like, I actually was already done recording by the time I watched that video conveniently. And I think our videos are different enough. And some people would agree with him because this is the one thing I give Filip credit for, assuming that he was editing his own videos, is that he was a very good video editor. If you go watch his channel, it looks like IGN quality video. It's probably what got him noticed. Is he looked like he, at least appears to be, a very competent video editor. Way better than me. He makes my content look like someone in Movie Maker back in the early 2000s compared to him doing like professional high-level editing and all that stuff. But if you actually look at the words and the stuff he said and the content, and it basically is one-to-one with what the other guy said. So it's like what's more important is what's being said than necessarily the editing process. And obviously throughout all of this, IGN, it's kind of come out from IGN that when they hire, they don't necessarily have a way to tell about plagiarism, especially from a YouTuber, because they don't have transcripts of the videos that you could kind of Google and run through things and see if it pops up anywhere else.
Right.
And this is how simple people are busting him. They're just transcribing some of his videos, throwing the lines in Google, and that's how they're discovering, oh, look when he published this, look at where it's from, look at the word. One of the worst examples, or I guess best if you're looking for, did you actually plagiarize, was the Fire Emblem Warriors preview. From Nintendo Wired, a very obscure, very small Nintendo website.
Yeah. Actually, I've been there.
He reworded, or he didn't reword. He basically read line for line for line. He just basically read the damn review off, and argued it was his experience at Comic-Con because theirs was written as their experience playing the game at E3. And so he just he reworded E3 to Comic-Con and copied the exact same words.
That'd been really funny if it wasn't even at Comic-Con.
If you would have left the E3.
No, if it wasn't even at Comic-Con.
I don't even know if it was.
You played a game that wasn't even there?
I think it was at Comic-Con.
It's like, you played a game that wasn't even there? How is that possible? There you go. Great job
reviewing
that.
I know who Nintendo Wired. I know about a lot of the obscure Nintendo websites because I mean, just come and say, I've been a journalist. I've been, whether or not I wanted to deny it over the years, I've been reporting on Nintendo news for nearly 20 years. So I've been to all these obscure sites because, yes, they sometimes have some really good stuff that you can't find at some of the bigger ones. Nintendo everything, Nintendo, IGN, Kotaku, they don't always have everything. So you got to go to some of the most obscure places to find things, especially when they notice little details that might have popped up in a trailer that everybody missed.
Yeah.
And even on YouTube, I follow some really dinky YouTubers. I follow some obscure ones. I follow some massive ones because you have to, when you're reporting on news, you have to kind of get that collective process together of where to find it all.
That's news. That's not reviews.
Yes.
That's news.
So and he's doing this with previews and reviews and reading them.
Yes.
Or rewording them.
Yes.
And my thing is, and what sucks about it, is the more and more I'm following this stuff on Reset Era. There's even a thread on NeoGAF. I don't really go to NeoGAF anymore, but I just happen to notice they're still kind of sort of alive. Shouldn't be anymore, but they kind of sort of are. And there's some other places on the internet where some people are starting to say, see, this is why you don't hire YouTubers. All YouTubers are hacks. They're all copying each other. They're all this. They're all that. Especially, and he was a Nintendo YouTuber. All this just proves how lame Nintendo YouTubers are. They can't be original and all this stuff. And I'm just sitting there like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Now the reputation of someone like me is being affected by one person who is clearly the worst possible example of a YouTuber, of a journalist, of anything.
Right.
A case like this is just no one has ever faked it this long and made it this far in the video. It's almost impressive.
Yeah. For sure.
He's one of the greatest con men in video game media history.
Huh?
Period. And he's still living in denial. He has still not owned up to any of it.
That's
He's still, I never did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And some people, I think someone asked me earlier if there was going to be a lawsuit over it. I don't think so. I think one could be created, but it would be very complex.
Yeah.
And you'd have to have almost everyone who's been plagiarized get together, as witnesses or as or as people who want to file. And it's probably almost too. It's funny. It's almost too widespread for it to happen. It's basically because he did it so much and so often and got away with it so long. Probably legally, I don't know if there's really much. Like, IGN can come after him if they would like to. If they find out that every single piece he's ever worked is stolen at their work, that's different. They're a professional business, so they could be like, "No, you were stealing while employed with us. We can come after you." But that's a totally different thing.
We paid you to do this work. You actually didn't do this work. You copied everybody else's work. So technically, you didn't fulfill your stuff. So yeah,
it's just frustrating. The more and more this, like every day, there's something new that came out that he plagiarized. Every day, something new that comes out. Like those private DMs are now coming out, or came out for a brief moment, anyways, showing that like how little he paid attention or knew what was going on. It was just getting other people that were more more in the know to tell him.
Yeah.
And apparently the interview questions that he asked for and used, it has come out from other IGN employees now that he did the same thing while he worked at IGN. This is where it's a little like, why didn't IGN think something was up with this then? He was asking to ask other colleagues, especially ones that you work with, like me asking you,
right?
Do you have any ideas for some interview questions for this company? But the problem is that they said in hindsight, they think about this, when he performed the interviews, all he would use is the questions the other people came up with.
That's it.
He never came up with his own.
That's the thing. You need to have your own base of questions, and then you go around and go, hey, what if you had a chance? What would you ask them?
Yeah,
what would you ask them?
It's okay to ask your colleagues. But it's in addition to.
Right, exactly, because
it's not instead of making your own, and that was the problem.
Or if you did that this way, you could go. You should state that I went through and I asked my colleagues. I didn't come up with any of these questions. I came through, asked my colleagues what they thought. I'm just performing the interview. That's something that you could how to get around that as well.
Sure. But
because
I've done this at Zelda Informer once. We had someone, I wasn't going to be around and they were going to perform an interview, so I wrote all the interview questions for them. But I was the boss.
Right.
I okayed that.
Yeah.
And they were okay with it. That's different.
Yeah.
That's totally different. That's me. That's what I wanted to happen.
But that's
we're standing in for
That's the thing though. That would have been like him writing all the questions for somebody else.
Yeah. But but here's the thing, none of the people knew that they were the only questions were going to be in the interview.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, your questions were, and probably his thought process or what he told them is afterwards. He's like, "Well, your questions were so good, I didn't think I have to have anymore."
Right.
And they're just like, "Well, something's like." Yeah. It seems like some people thought fishy. Something was up with him, but it's like, well, he did come from YouTube. He's learning. You kind of giving him the benefit.
Right.
Like,
especially in the beginning.
You've never been an official journalist. You've just been a YouTuber.
Especially in the beginning.
A learning process.
I get it.
You're nervous with reviews. It hasn't even been a year yet. Maybe given a benefit of the doubt, but like Brian Altano came out and just...
How long was he at IGN for?
I think it was 7 months officially.
Ooh. Yeah, that is... I understand. I get it.
Last November or December.
Well, I get it. Coming from, the first few times you do an interview, to ask for questions, just to kind of,
and I think to figure out... People give them the benefit of the doubt. You're new.
Right.
Don't have a journalism degree. That's...
To figure out how they phrase their questions, how the process of it.
Learn. Learning
but
from your colleagues.
You still should add your own questions to try to make it, to see, okay, this is kind of how they hinted at, okay, let me try, asking my own questions here as well to try to see if, these, work. Or even run your questions by somebody. You should come up with your questions, run it by someone. Does this make sense? Is this a good question? Is this not? At least come up with your own.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
It's just an embarrassment. And I feel bad for IGN. In one way, there is one good side of this, or a couple. One, Boomstick Gaming.
Yeah.
He literally is on the verge of being able to do YouTube for a living. I know I talk about me doing it for a living, but I survived because of community support. Without community support, he's going to probably be able to do it for a living just off ad revenue on his reviews. Good for him. I wish him all the success in the world. He deserves it. He called this out, and it led to all this discovering all this. Without him, Filip Miucin would have got away with this for even longer until somebody else noticed and called him out.
Yeah. Which would have been. Oh.
So it would have been even worse.
You thought it's bad now.
But what's going to happen now is I feel like across the industry, there's going to be a change in how a hiring process is done.
Oh yeah.
I hope it's not that they won't consider YouTubers anymore. I hope that's not the lesson they take. I think the lesson they need to take is we need to do a better job vetting their work. We need to, if we're not sure because it's a video,
or at least doing a lot.
Like they're a YouTuber, they come to me and they can't tell 100% for sure. They Google my phrasing, they Google some stuff, and they see if, they just aren't getting any definitive answers. What they could have me do is a little trial run. All right, we'll bring you on. You work from home. You intern for a couple weeks. You write a dozen news posts over the next couple weeks for us. We'll go through it. We'll check those posts for plagiarism and get them up. And if you prove you can do all this stuff without plagiarizing, obviously you are not Filip Miucin.
Yeah, right. There is that.
I mean, make them write an editorial. Or whatever. Make him do a standalone news report video for you guys at his house, using a green screen, and then you guys can professionally edit it and all that stuff if you want. Like, I don't know. I don't know how the process is going to change, but it's going to change. And I don't know when. Right. Some people said it could take a long time because a lot of the current processes have been in place for a while, so it could take, a year, it could take 2, but eventually all these outlets, Kotaku, GameSpot, IGN, even other outlets, even like Giant Bomb and stuff, they came out and said it's hard to fault IGN because there is no real process in place to know if someone plagiarized. Because as Brian Altano put out on Twitter, and in a tweet that he swore in, he never swears publicly. He's a public figure. He keeps it family friendly, but he is just so pissed off. Can't blame him. Fellow coworker, he thought he was a friend.
Yeah.
Like duped. Personally, in person, like Spawnwave, Dreamcast guy, all those guys get duped. They didn't actually know Filip in person.
Yeah.
Like, this was in person, spent hours of his day, every day, talking to him, trying to get Nintendo content done.
Yeah.
Just completely betrayed. And he came out and he's just so devastated about it all. And talking about the lies that Filip told while he was at IGN, 2 fellow IGN employees, when they had questions for him about things that felt fishy. The lies he told on his way out the door after he had been fired. Just lie after lie after lie. Like, the guy just lied to get everywhere. And he said what he doesn't understand, and I'm with this, is why would someone go through all this trouble to fake things this deeply to work a job they clearly are not just underqualified for, but don't enjoy? Because if they did enjoy, they wouldn't need to fake it like this. They would be passionate about it.
Yeah. No, I get you. That's crazy. I don't know how.
Okay, can you imagine? I would not to be offensive to you. I don't think you would be a good hire for IGN.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the deep enough passion to put in the effort to do the work. I'm not saying that you wouldn't be willing to. If they came along, we'll pay you $200,000.
Oh, obviously.
You like gaming? Yeah. I like gaming enough that I'll do that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
But it's one of those, you wouldn't consider yourself someone that is so ingrained in it that it just comes natural to you, right?
No.
I have to tell you, go watch the Smash Direct. I don't have to, whether I work here or not, I saw the Smash Direct.
Yeah.
I'm passionate.
I still have yet to see the Smash Direct.
That's why Smash is not the topic of the podcast this week, for those wondering. But I'm so ingrained in it that I'm passionate about it. And as Brian Altano said, why would you want to essentially get your dream job, or any Nintendo fan's dream job besides working at Nintendo, and not be passionate about it enough to do your own work? And this is my thing to Filip. Is this really a bad thing for Filip? As much as, yes, don't attack him personally. Don't attack his family. That's always shady.
Right,
to do.
Right.
Don't.
No.
Personal attacks are not going to fix anything. He already ruined his professional career in this area. And at this point, every new thing that's found is just comical. And he's going to have to live with that for the rest of his life. And it's going to follow him to his next job, his next career. They're going to ask him about it. But my thing is that I don't know if I could feel bad for him, because if he had to fake it this entire time, he obviously did not enjoy doing it. Maybe he enjoyed duping people. That's possible. He could have got, just like trolls enjoy riling people up. Yeah. He might have actually enjoyed getting all this way, knowing that he's just not legit.
No.
If he's
getting paid,
I'm so good at conning people that I'm enjoying conning people.
If he's getting
paid
for
it, denial, which just adds to my con levels. Yeah. I just got leveled up as a thief or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
it's a crazy situation to me that I hope we never see happen again anywhere.
No, for sure.
I'm not going to say there aren't YouTubers out there that have faked it and stolen. Of course there are.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to get away with it on YouTube. People call you out like that. And I know it's like, well, but Filip got away with it, but he was getting called out for it actually like a year ago in the comment section on some videos. But it just kind of went unnoticed because he's small.
Yeah.
And to be fair to IGN, I don't expect them in their process of hiring someone to go into the comment section of all of his videos and read to see if there's allegations.
Honestly, though, good on the people that actually, picked this up and helped him get this out there. And then good on IGN for not going, oh, this guy's just a small YouTuber, the hell with him.
Yeah, I think
good
in
on
all
them
of this,
for that.
IGN has done everything that you expect a professional outlet to do and then some. Offering actual monetary compensation to the guy who called them out.
Yeah.
Doing just that's fine. Doing lots of stuff. Like, just in general, like, everything they have done in their response has been exactly what IGN should do. Mm-hmm. Just like the only response Filip should have ever had is, I'm guilty, I'm sorry.
Right, exactly, yeah.
I got over my head. Blah, 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 blah. He could throw any excuse he wants out there, and none of it's an excuse for what he did, but at least he's owning his mistake. Right. And I talked about this in some videos I've done. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm passionate. I do research. I make mistakes. Sometimes I don't catch myself that I headline surfed a thing for a news report, and I didn't actually read the report. So then as I report about it, I am missing facts, or I'm getting some facts wrong because the headline kind of misled me, and that happens. That's why you're supposed to read the actual news and get context, and that's why context is so important. But I make mistakes.
Yeah,
it happens. I try to own up to those mistakes every single time they happen, in the hopes that I make less and less of them moving forward. That's the hope.
Right.
And if I don't, I'm at least going to admit, yeah, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, there's that.
I mean, no one is.
Yeah.
But I would never, ever steal other people's work and claim it as my own.
Yeah, right.
Ever. Especially when you're talking about making money from it. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. Like, I know a lot of people do this in college, right?
Yeah.
You know, that they that's bad too. And if you're caught, you're expelled. Like, it's automatic. But I think there's a difference, at least to me. Maybe this is a bad comparison, but I do think there's a difference between someone who's copying work just to get through college through a class that has nothing to do with their degree.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to take this general English class because you have to take this general English
college
class.
English class,
You don't like to write.
Yeah.
But you're forced to take a writing class that has nothing to do with anything you have to do.
Right.
It's not even teaching you how to make professional business emails. It's just
been there, done that.
Write a 50-page essay because you have to.
Right.
It got nothing to do with what you're ever going to do in your career, but write a 50-page essay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to excuse them doing it, but I can see, like, they're not doing it to screw anyone, right? They're just trying to get past this thing, the skill they don't really need.
And they're also not making money off of it.
Do need that skill. Like, if you're going to become a journalist and you're stealing them,
yeah.
That,
right.
I mean,
they're also not making money off of it.
That's true.
They're spending money.
They're spending money,
right?
On
yeah.
It. And if they fake their way through, they're eventually going to get caught out in the professional world, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
This situation, man.
Right. It's nuts. It is nuts.
Can you imagine a situation where you would potentially borrow someone's work to call it your own, like, at all? Is there any possible thing in your life where you could be like, you know what? I'll copy that.
I can't say no because there's probably some obscure thing that I'm not thinking of right now.
Well,
but no.
I can say without a question, when I was a freshman in high school, I copied someone's homework one time.
But, yeah.
I know, and we're like, what's the big deal with that? I'm like, it's
technically yes. Technically, yes.
I did, and it wasn't really a paper though. It was a math assignment. I had straight A's in math. I was a 4 or 5 sport athlete, whatever it was.
Something like that,
I just had no time.
Yeah.
And so someone else let me borrow their paper and I copied their homework. And I'm not proud of it, but it wasn't because I didn't think I could do it, that I didn't know how to do it. All the tests that you had to do in person, I aced every single one of those, got 100%. So like, I didn't feel guilty doing it, but then I'm like, is time crunch?
But it's also, but at the same point in time, you didn't do it. You didn't do it for everything either. You didn't do it all homework assignments. You didn't do it for all homework assignments. You didn't do it for all of this, all of that. Yeah.
And that wasn't harming anyone else.
Right.
The only person that maybe gets harmed is me if they find out.
Right.
And they usually don't expel you at high school for that.
Well,
the first time.
I mean, the only other thing too
but
is
they might
that,
give you detention, and then they'll make you sit down and do the homework right in front of them with no one around.
Yeah.
Like, you can get in trouble, but big shout out to Edward Norton. I know you've given a couple bucks here. Thank you so much. It's a crazy situation to me. I knew we were going to spend the most of the podcast on this.
Yeah.
So that's why the other topics are a little easier.
Right.
But it's just, have you ever heard of a situation like this anywhere? Forget gaming, like anywhere.
No.
Like,
I'm
even
sure
someone who's faked their whole way through college.
I'm sure that there's,
there's other people who have been caught plagiarizing.
Right, yeah.
And there's been people in the professional journalism world that have been busted for plagiarism before. It is a thing that's happened. But it was never discovered their entire career was plagiarized. It was just like that one thing.
Right.
And then they got caught. And even if it was a couple things, they got caught, they fessed up.
Right. No,
and
for
then
sure.
never did it again.
For sure. I don't know, I'm sure there's been some other case of, major plagiarism being called out on someone, but I don't know it offhand. I would not be surprised if I'm just saying this is probably not the first case of somebody.
No, it's not the first case of somebody plagiarized. It's the first case that's been to this extent
that we know of.
Everything is
that we know of, at least.
But and challenging the internet.
Yeah. Let me just say,
if you challenge the internet, you better be 100% damn sure you've never done anything wrong.
That was going to be my last.
Because the internet is going to find it.
I was waiting for the end of this topic.
Even if
for
you
this.
know you did something wrong, like the last thing you do, even if you're going to deny it, is challenge the internet to find that wrong thing.
Yeah.
That would be like I challenge the internet to dig up some of my ugly history from Zelda Informer. It's like, but why? To what end? I've already openly admitted to all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, why? Like, I know it's there, so why challenge people to go dig that up? Like, it makes no sense to me. I don't know. I mean, do you have any closing thoughts on this before we move on?
The closing thought that I was keeping to myself for a while was, I think the biggest thing that we could take all out of this is don't challenge the internet. The internet will win.
Do you have any advice for Filip Miucin?
Just admit that you did something wrong. Honestly, it'll help you. It'll help, I think, make this thing go away faster. If you just come out and just say, yes, you're right, I did it, I'm sorry, and then try to move forward from it, prove them wrong in the future.
Sure.
Do not copy anything. You better make damn well sure that you don't copy anything.
The only advice I really have for him, I don't even think fessing up's going to matter anymore. It's just going to seem disingenuous. After he came out, you have one chance to fess up. When you're busted, you have one chance. Really, he got two, because he had to fess up to IGN first, and he lied to IGN. So he already lied with his first opportunity to fess up. His first public opportunity to fess up, he also lied.
Yeah.
So at this point, if he apologizes, it's just going to look like trying to save face, trying to recover his YouTube career. It's not going to sound like it's sincere. And it's funny, his apology video, look up on YouTube, how to deceive your YouTube audience. There's a video that he literally copied the format of for his video to try to deceive his audience into believing that he did nothing wrong.
Nice.
The sigh and everything at the beginning when he's like, and the intonations. The guy goes point by point through that video about someone who actually did it, who did the exact same stuff Filip did, but did it in a way where he wasn't being dishonest. What he was doing was exaggerating his emotions to get across how he felt after he left a certain outlet. It was because if he just stayed even keeled like he usually is, people might not believe what he says about his feelings. So he's like, you exaggerate
right.
to get people to understand how you're actually feeling. This is something that happens with depression. Sometimes when you're talking about depression, you're like, you don't feel someone who's depressed. I'm like, well, let me exaggerate things a little bit in this moment so you can get a feeling for a little feeling about what it's like to live my life every day. Anyway, so he did that, but he said in that video the lesson was, but anybody could do this and do it dishonestly and completely manipulate their audience in a liar way. And that's exactly what Filip did. It was very funny because that he didn't steal it because he didn't. You can't steal for it. I used this analogy before. If I write a fantasy novel and I started off as Once Upon a Time that I plagiarized, no, that's not considered it's considered a format, a commonly known format. That's fine. He can use the format. He didn't copy the words, but clearly he used that video as inspiration to attempt to manipulate. It's a video that's literally about manipulating your audience, and he attempted to manipulate his audience after he already manipulated the audience.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I retract my statement of him being able to apologize his way out of this.
Yeah, I don't think he can apologize out. The thing is I think he needs to remove all of his social media accounts. Just get rid of them. Be done.
Mm-hmm.
Done. You cannot be a social media presence at all. At least not under your current actual name. You're going to have to go under a pseudonym on a new Twitter account and just never give any hint of who you are. You're going to... I'm not going to say you can never return to YouTube, Philip. You could possibly return to YouTube someday because I hate saying this because I know I'm speaking to a big YouTube audience right now, but the YouTube audience can be very gullible sometimes. When you have your most hardcore, faithful fans, they will follow you to the ends of the earth. Mm-hmm. There are people still to this day I am seeing defend Filip Miucin and say we are burning him at a stake for no reason. We're doing that, like, no reason. Everything that's happened has been his own fault. Mm-hmm. Nothing that has happened so far you can blame on anybody else but Filip himself. Right. Even all this new stuff being discovered and dug up, why are people still doing it? Because Filip asked them to.
He did.
He asked people to find this stuff and let him know.
Yep.
So that's exactly what people are doing.
Yep.
So Filip has literally no one to blame but himself. People weren't digging up other examples of plagiarism for him until he challenged us to. Yeah. We figured the one example was good enough. Okay, it's not. Let's go.
I'm fairly certain the internet's undefeated. I'm fairly certain of that.
So he can probably come back to YouTube someday because in a year or two, when it blows over a little bit, people aren't talking about it every day. Yeah, we're not even thinking about it on a podcast. Someone's gonna, his comment sections are gonna be hell. His dislikes are gonna be, what they are. But ultimately, he could probably recover and do okay on YouTube. I don't know if he can cover gaming anymore. That's something. I don't know what he can cover that people are gonna think he's not gonna plagiarize, but.
Yeah.
It's going to be very difficult for him to do anything in this kind of space anymore. Mm-hmm. Now, that doesn't mean that he's screwed for life. He has a marketing degree, sort of LinkedIn profile says anyways. He used to work marketing jobs, which makes a lot of sense. He knows how to sell himself. Yeah. Not anymore. How hard to sell now. But I hope, Philip, for your sake, that one... Even if you never say it publicly, you at least can acknowledge in your head that I did something wrong. I know I've been faking it. Like, at least be able to admit to yourself that you were faking it. That you are not truly as passionate about gaming as you like to think you are. That you are not good at writing. That you are a user and an abuser of people. Mm-hmm. And just be able to admit that to yourself. If you can't admit it to anybody else. Because what that's going to enable you to do is once you can't become better as a human being or better as a person if you can't admit to yourself your own faults. I don't think you have any obligation at this point to come out publicly and admit your faults to anybody else. Your faults are out there and well known at this point. Mm-hmm. But you need to be able to identify to yourself that you have these faults, that you did do a lot of things wrong. Not just something wrong, a lot of things wrong. And then grow from there and realize I don't want to be that person anymore. I hope that's what you realize. I hope it's not, well, that didn't work, so let me go into a completely different job field. Let me become a construction worker and work my way up to the top of management by faking it and lying my way up. I hope you don't just take that mentality and apply it to a totally different career path and fake it till you make it. I don't know how you fake it in construction, but you know what? You're the kind of person I think can find a way. I don't know how. It'll probably be one of those, oh man, I fell off the roof and it's everyone's fault and I got a lawsuit. Now I'm in a manager position.
This person over here built that, but guess what I did now?
I don't know. I don't even know how you would even do it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you recognize you have these faults and you enter into a new career path, and you do you find something you enjoy. I hope out of all this, everything becomes a positive. Mm-hmm. In that Filip himself finally finds a career that he enjoys that he doesn't need to fake. Mm-hmm. If you are truly down a career path you enjoy, you don't need to fake it. Mm-hmm. So find a career that you enjoy that you don't need to fake. I don't know what that career is. I don't know you. But it definitely has nothing to do with video games. Probably nothing to do with journalism in general. You might have thought that's what you wanted to do. Maybe you grew up as a kid thinking that's what you wanted to do. Clearly it's not. Clearly you've been going down the wrong path. To everyone who's been affected by him, all the people who had their content stole. I'm not aware of anything he stole from me, whether it be at Zelda Informer or at Nintendo Prime last year or something like that, because I haven't gone through the videos to double check if he stole any of my editorials or any of my news I wrote last year before I started doing YouTube, or if he stole any of my YouTube ideas or my YouTube opinions. I don't know. Because I could easily see how he could take one of my videos, get rid of my rambling aspects, and just copy all my ideas and all my points and regurgitate it. I could see how he could do that, but I don't really care. I just hope that anyone that he has affected and stole content from does get discovered and do get the attention they deserve for the work they have done, the real work that was done, the people who wrote the previews, the people who made the video content. I know they're all not going to get the attention that Boomstick Gaming got, but they all deserve their own attention in their own way, including people. This is the ironic part. One of the posts he did at IGN actually stole content from another IGN writer.
Fantastic.
That to me was like, wow, did IGN not catch that?
Yeah, right.
How? But then it's also one of those things that, like, well, if you're the people who are glancing at this stuff before it goes up as a copy editor, it's like it might sound familiar to you, but you're like, well, yeah, it's an IGN thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
And it's just this whole mess is just. I don't even know. Like, all I can hope is that Filip finds a job he enjoys. It's not like I don't want him. Here's the. I don't think he's ruined for life. He apparently has a girlfriend who has a kid, or a fiance who has a kid, or something. Maybe they're married now. No one really knows. The information's not out there. Also, I've had that he was dating someone who had a kid, and something got out about how his family just got a Tesla 3. So not like it's like a $50,000 car. Mm-hmm. But he said family. So I don't know if that means him and his fiance and his kid, or if it just means his whole family, like his parents and everything. So like it sounds like no matter what he's doing or where he's at, his family is well enough off in some capacity that he's not like living on the streets right now, right? Like he didn't lose his job and he's out on the streets. He's okay. He's on his feet. He's doing whatever. But so I don't have to feel bad that even the one thing I could feel bad about is the guy becoming homeless after all this.
Right.
Even if you think he deserves it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. So it's just one of those. I just hope everybody comes out of this with a positive light. The hard part for someone like me that wasn't necessarily affected directly by what he did is just the aftershock effect of people not trusting me because of what he did.
Right.
People looking down on me for what I do here because of what Filip did and his representation of Nintendo YouTubers. It sucks. We'll move on. It's fine. I know we got to get to some other topics here, but it's just, man, it sucks. So get to our next topic. Diablo 3. Diablo 3.
It's coming to the Switch.
It's coming to Switch.
It's coming to Switch.
We reported on this actually a couple days ago because it got leaked out early. And the thing is Nintendo's official announcement video for it, they put up on Twitter. It's on YouTube, I think, now, too.
What?
I love the Reginator.
Yeah.
I really do.
Right.
And he does give a nice moment in the video that is prime for memes. Yeah. Prime for all the GIFs in the world, the GIFs, I'm sorry, whatever. Like, it's prime to have a lot of fun with. This one point where he's like nodding his head and pointing, and I'm just like, okay. It's clearly an intentional thing for people to meme, because he knows. People meme Reggie all the time. My body's Reggie. Anyways, what's wrong with you? So that was fine. I don't mind that kind of corniness, the intentional corniness, the intentional cringe. I'm okay with, because that's just part of the charm of Nintendo. Yeah. But it was such a weird, like, the whole video was cringe, and it wasn't cringe, like, it wasn't trying to be funny.
No, but I found it funny.
It wasn't trying to be funny. If you guys haven't seen this, when we're all done with this, there'll be links down in the description for some of our stories here, and we'll put the video link down there for you guys after we're done. So when you watch this on replay, oh man, it is hilarious right now. Like Reggie, I knew he was bad at acting. I didn't know he was this bad. Reggie, what he did in that video is a prime example that acting is a skill.
Yeah. It seems like he was reading from a prompter.
Probably was.
Yeah.
Oh man, what's going on? The lights are going crazy in here.
Yeah.
Even that was better acting than what Reggie did. I can't act as bad as him.
Yeah.
I have acting experience. I can't act as bad as him. It's terrible. Oh, it's everything, and it's not intentional. Even the other guy, he was a little cringe, but it was a lot less. Reggie, because the problem is they had the intentional Reggie cringe, which in hindsight was funny, but it just didn't look that good with the unintentional cringe. It was, anyways, it's just a minor thing, but it's funny.
The guy from Blizzard, though, too, he was just kind of like, what's going on?
like,
I just want to announce this game.
let me hit this button and broadcast it to the fans.
Yeah,
Yeah, because everyone's got a red button that broadcasts the fans, right?
Wait, you don't have a red button that broadcasts fan?
Technically, it is red.
Well, no, that ends the broadcast fans. I think it's green when
it.
No, it's green when it starts.
Oh, got me there.
Yeah.
Anyways, you excited for Diablo 3 on Switch? I mean, it's a game that came out 6 years ago now.
Haven't played it.
It's coming this year. I haven't played it either. That's one of the things I'm excited for.
It looks cool.
I've played Diablo 1 and 2. I didn't play 3, so like I am excited. The price point gets me a little.
Let me
fully
get 60.
Priced. Yeah. It has all the DLC.
That's where I can give it a little bit of slack.
But it's 6 years old, and a lot of this DLC came out a long time ago.
Still.
And you can get it right now on other platforms for way cheaper with all the DLC.
With all the DLC combined with it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then...
So it's like...
Then, yeah, I don't...
I know there's a Switch tax with the cartridges. Whether or not we like to admit it, it does exist. But even then, $50 is too much. So, like... I'm going to end up buying it because I want to play it that 40. Bad, and it's on Switch.
Yeah.
And I want to support this. I want them to see this and bring over Overwatch and bring over World of damn Warcraft. Give me an excuse to stream World of Warcraft to my audience. I want to log on to my character right now on my Switch and play World of Warcraft right now. Even though it's way less going to look even closer as good as my PC. I don't care.
Hey, you know,
I'm playing World of Warcraft on Switch.
Maybe it'll drop back. Maybe it'll bring you back to old memories of playing at 10 FPS.
I tried to feel that the other day. I was playing the new expansion.
Yeah.
And I put everything at 4K. It's been at 4K for a while.
Yeah.
But I tried maxing every setting out I possibly could to try to see if I could even get back to how bad it was back in the day with my current setup.
No.
I could only get it down to like 32 FPS. I'm like,
oh, damn.
What is going on? I need those 40-man raids back. Those 40-man raids with everyone casting spells would probably get me back down there.
I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd hit the D key to move right, and you'd be like 30 feet away later.
Right?
Like, what?
Totally. No, yeah. So Diablo 3, I haven't played it, so I'd like to try it out on the Switch. I'm not sure about the price point myself, but you know what? I said that about some other games, and then I picked them up and I loved them, and I have no regrets. So I think that's probably what's going to happen with Diablo 3 is because I know it's a really good RPG. The reviews are out there. This game's well known for what it is. Action RPG. Fantastic. Play with multiple people. They have a lot of local play and online play and all this stuff. Like, it's great.
It looks cool.
And you can play it with me. That's the thing. You don't even have to buy it. You can just play it with me right on my Switch.
Sweet.
So, sure.
Looks cool.
I'll probably going to give it a try. I'll have more thoughts on it, once we get closer to release. That does remind me that I need to get in contact with some of these companies, see if I can get some review copies. I know Nintendo isn't obliging. It doesn't mean other companies won't. So they're usually a lot actually easier to get in contact with. So I'm actually going to see what I can do about that. Maybe I can even get it early and, maybe I'll review it. I don't know. Does it need a review at this point? Because we know what it is.
But
I haven't played it. The
thing is, it's your review.
It's true.
Which is technically supposed to be like nobody else's review.
It's true. It wouldn't be.
To tie it back to the first topic.
I can tell you right now. I know it's been 6 years. I've actually never read a review of Diablo 3.
Yeah.
I've seen review scores, but I've never actually read a review.
Right.
So I don't know. Anyways. Oh, man. I'm pretty excited for Diablo 3. I'm probably going to pick it up
honestly,
day
it
one.
It does look cool.
And,
again, not
okay about the price, but I haven't played Diablo 3, so you know what? We'll give her the old
college try.
Yeah. Everything's referring back to the first topic these days.
Yes.
It's hard to get around. Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the next topic. Again, we're going to kind of speed through. This topic's actually a bit more of a meaty one, just because of the second part of it. But Scott, one of the lead something game producers or something or other at Blizzard, came out to talk. Was asked about Diablo 3, and then was asked about Overwatch coming to Switch. And he's, as far as he's aware, nothing's even happening with Overwatch. It has to be asked of the team behind Overwatch, blah, 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 blah. But basically he was asked, is it feasible that Overwatch can even run on Switch? That's the big question is, okay, forget about whether or not you guys are going to bring it. If you were, can it run on Switch? That's always the big question is, can Switch run it? And he came flat out and said, yes, it's feasible. It can run on Switch. And he's saying this with his hands-on experience bringing Diablo 3, obviously, over.
Honestly, there's a difference. There is something. Being feasible to run on Switch, yes, of course Switch can run it. Now, whether it can run it well...
Well, I know. The question was inferring, is this a reason
I realize that. But it's just, I like to point out, I like to be the devil's advocate every once in a while and just say, well, yeah, of course it can run it. That doesn't mean it can run it well, but of course it can run it.
Yeah. So that being said, because that's obviously, it's not being in the works right now, it's not coming right now. What I actually want to talk about a bit briefly here, because we've been asked a lot of questions about this, and I might do an individual video one day that goes a bit more in depth. So if Overwatch was to happen, it would definitely be next year. It wouldn't be anything coming this year.
No, probably not.
Is there any, like, what kind of games do you want to see from Nintendo or third parties in 2019? We don't have to give like exact dates and get deep into it. We can go do a bigger topic on this later. But is there any games from Nintendo or third parties you're just like, you know what, 2019, yes, this needs to happen?
Well, besides Madden on Switch.
Well, okay, there you go. Well, there you go. It's one. I wasn't even going to say that, so there you
go. God. Honestly, though, I'd love to see rare games come back, but I know it's not going to happen.
Well, no.
And again,
feasible.
Right.
Let's go with feasibility. An exclusive Microsoft studio.
I know.
This is Minecraft, which is already here.
Yeah,
so.
Right.
Even like Nintendo. Any Nintendo games you want to see?
Bring back some Tecmo.
Can't.
Anything. Why?
I mean, they can through Virtual Console, but they can't actually make a new one because it's NFL license.
Yeah, true.
You keep forgetting about it. You want Madden. Remember the big negative of Madden is the NFL license. You can't use it.
Stop reminding me.
Okay, anything non-sports related, Eric. Something from Nintendo, perhaps.
Bubble Bobble.
Okay.
I want a Bubble Bobble game.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
I can already think of a game you want next year right now. Oh, you wanted this. You want it immediately. New Snowboard Kids. How can you not talk about...
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. I know you're not necessarily all up to date on all the latest and greatest, but you know enough about the classics to know what you should want to come to Switch, man.
Yeah, there
and
is
Switch
that.
is a prime place to revive a lot of these franchises. Ice Climbers.
Yeah. Bring back some GoldenEye. It's rare. It's a rare game. It's not only the rare thing. Yeah,
there's a lot of trickiness.
I keep forgetting about that. Yeah.
Instead of a GoldenEye, how about a new one?
Perfect Dark. Well, that's a rare game, isn't it?
Yes.
Damn it. God damn you, Rare.
Rare made all the good games back then. You could talk about a new. Let me think back then. What was the game called with the bongos? The DK Bongos.
The DK Bongos? I don't know.
What was it called?
DK game? I don't know.
I know it was a Donkey Kong rhythm game, but I can't believe I don't remember what that was called. Someone said Donkey Kong.
Bring back Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, they can do that, even though Rare made it. It
doesn't
matter. It doesn't matter.
I know,
Nintendo owns that.
Yeah.
It's totally owned by Nintendo, so
really?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, interesting.
Just like Donkey Kong Country. Nintendo owns that. Yeah, it was Rare, but Nintendo owns it.
Huh. Okay.
Donkey Konga, was that what it was called?
I don't know.
That sounds familiar. Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
It needs to come next year.
Right.
I don't know why.
I'll give you that one. I'm not a big Animal Crossing fan.
How long has it been since New Leaf came out? It's been forever.
Oh, wow.
Years and years and years. Like 5 years. Like, it's time.
The last Animal Crossing I played was on your GameCube.
My GameCube.
Yes.
So like Animal Crossing, we already know we're getting a Pokemon next year. We already know we're getting a Fire Emblem next year.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting that new IP in Daemon X Machina. I don't know who's making that. I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. This would be a Philip situation where I don't know enough information to really talk much about that game. I'm just gonna mention it exists.
Yes.
I haven't done enough research.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, my research won't involve reading other people's reviews.
But the thing is, though, is that we're just listing games.
Yeah.
We're not actually saying what they are.
Anyways.
Like Pikmin 4. That could come.
Yeah, Pikmin 4. That's another one.
I'll give credit right here to the chat for that one.
Yeah. Pikmin 4 apparently has been done for years. And according to Miyamoto, it was done like 2-3 years ago. It's like,
nice.
So
then why is it
I
not
understand
out?
why they didn't bring it out because they knew Switch was
end
coming.
Of the Wii U.
Yeah, end of Wii U, they knew Switch was coming. But by now, I don't know why it hasn't even been announced. Metro Prime 4, obviously, is one we think's coming next year. We're not really even sure, but we think it's coming next year. I would like to see a new Castlevania come back using the new Simon Belmont model from Smash. Oh, oh, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I really want Dracula come back, baby. Third party wise, obviously at this point, I would like to see any sort of Assassin's Creed game come next year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's going to be the new Assassin's Creed that comes next year inevitably, or if it's like the Ezio collection.
Right.
Just something to bring over Black Flag. I don't care. Bring over something. Ubisoft is considering other things. I really want to see them consider stuff like that. I'd love to see them consider the Division 2, but let's just get in the realm of releasing these IPs on the platform, regardless of what they are. I want to see, what's that game I'm thinking of? I would actually like to see this might, because we've talked a lot about Final Fantasy 15 and how that's supposedly still in development for Switch or whatever. I want to see a Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles come back.
Ooh, yes,
in the vein
please.
of the original Crystal Chronicles, not the sequel they did on Wii. That wasn't or was it Wii U? No, I believe it was Wii. That wasn't as it was very different. It was more of a traditional Final Fantasy than it was following the Crystal Chronicles chibi art style with the carrying the pot around, being the pot, you know what?
The pot, yeah.
And all that stuff. But like, I know some of that was annoying to some people, but expand upon that. I think it can be expanded upon and done better today. And I want to see that come back, especially think about how perfect that is for the local multiplayer you can do with split Joy-Cons. Perfect for that with Switch. Plus the local LAN you can do with multiple copies, and the online play you can do with people. I think we're in a perfect situation. A perfect storm has come for a game like that to actually blow up.
Yeah.
I know it didn't do well back on GameCube, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
With Switch, I think a perfect storm has arrived for that to do success, especially following up something like Octopath Traveler. I know it's not an Octopath Traveler game, but yes. We also know that there was, speaking of Octopath Traveler, the team there that made the Bravely Default 2. Not only is those been teased as coming to Switch, it does look like there's a Bravely Default 3 in the works, so that could be a 2019 title. I'm just glancing at
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Some people talk about Mother 3 finally coming.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
Luigi's Mansion 3. I could forgive them bringing Luigi's Mansion to 3DS if they announce Luigi's Mansion 3 for Switch.
Right.
Okay,
yes.
Fine. I don't need to
Yes.
replay an old game. Give me that new hotness.
Yes.
Especially with Luigi's new vacuum that he has. In Smash Bros. When he's quote unquote killed.
Although is Luigi dead? Is Luigi a ghost now? Do we have to wait?
If you're upset if Luigi's
How
okay.
does this work?
Well, we're not asking if Luigi's okay or he's dead. So
Yeah.
what now?
Yeah.
He can still be okay and be a spirit.
Yeah.
Ghosts exist.
Yeah.
You literally have had ghosts in Mario forever. So
Look at Luigi. I mean, Luigi's Mansion.
Look at Luigi.
Look at Luigi's Mansion. And is he a ghost now trying to run away from
That's a good. Actually, someone brought up a new Mario Striker game.
Yes.
That would be nice. Yeah, what's going to be the next Mario sports game?
As long as they don't keep the glitch
Striker,
of-
baseball?
I'd like to see a baseball game. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, like there's got to be a new Mario sports game. And Aces was, regardless of what you guys think of the content in the game, it was an unmitigated sales success. So they got to have another Mario sports game coming. Hopefully it's not a collection. I hope it's like a true, just one sport. We're going to focus on that and try to do it right.
I truly enjoyed the original Mario Strikers. I haven't actually played the second the Wii one, but I've heard it was
charged or whatever.
Yeah, I heard it was completely broken. Like you can actually just warp past the goalkeeper and just score a goal that way, and it's like, really?
It's called skill.
Yeah, it's called broken.
Hey, look, Nintendo Switch and Wii U have subscribed. Hey, welcome Nintendo Switch and Wii U.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that someone actually made their name that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch and Wii U.
Nice.
Hey, at least they're giving Wii U some love.
Yeah.
Wii U is a great console.
Another one I'd like to see is actually Burnout. Another Burnout game. That was Burnout's fun.
Burnout. How about, this is going to sound weird, but I kind of want another Excite bike.
Ooh.
They did do another one at one point, but I'm like,
trying to figure out how that would work.
You know what I actually really want, and a lot of people there might not be interested in this.
Mm-hmm.
Remember track and field?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I would like to see, like, they're not going to call it that. They'll probably just make it the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games thing. But do that.
A USB-C power pad. Yes.
But yeah, do that with the mat. Have the mat come back. Yes. Make it so you actually have to physically run and jump to participate in the game. I would be there day one, live streaming this. I'd probably lose 50 pounds playing that game.
Yes.
I loved it back in the day. I'll do it now.
Yes.
And I know there was like you could cheat on the NES controller and put a pencil between the A and B button, but like That's what you said. No, you force yourself to use the pad.
And
you use the pad.
Or if you're playing Pokemon Stadium, and then there you go. There's another one.
Pokemon Stadium. Why did you have to bring up Pokemon Stadium?
I don't know.
And Coliseum.
Yeah. With
Pokemon Snap.
Now
my brain's on Pokemon.
Oh God, Pokemon Snap. That'd be another.
Pokemon Snap.
And honestly, it works so well with the Switch because.
I mean, I know you can't do the AR. Technically, you could argue it would work good with your phone, but when people are liking it too much to Pokemon Go, because you can already see Pokemon. So I think on Switch it would be nice.
Yeah, but crap, I forgot where I was going.
Sorry, you got me on Pokemon, and
I know. Oh no, Pokemon Stadium, the original one on the 64, with the dig challenge, the cheat for that where you just pop the controller on its top and just rock it back and forth, and you just destroy everybody.
Yeah, I mean you destroy the stick, but let's be honest.
No, you don't destroy the stick. No, it was the shoulder buttons.
Oh yeah,
because you had to alternate the shoulder buttons. You pop it, you hold it in the middle, and you pop it up, and you just rock it back and forth. And
sorry,
and it just.
I was thinking of a different minigame that I did with the stick.
What the hell one was that?
I don't
Damn
remember.
it! That was.
I mean, the one that stands out all out for me is the
Ekin
Ring one. That was fun.
Yeah.
We used to have hardcore competition on the Ekin Ring toss. You don't understand. It would be like sudden death for hours.
Then you have the damn Clay Fairy memory game.
God, we need to see one of those come back.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm super excited about Super Mario Party later this year. I'm really hoping that's good.
Yeah.
I know this is a little off topic from 2019 games, but God, I want it to be good so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for a good party game on Switch, like an extremely good one. Don't think we've had a truly good one yet. Man, for next year, there's tons of Nintendo games in. I'm trying to think of some more third-party stuff.
It'd be kind of cool to see an updated Super Mario RPG. Yeah,
I mean, I'd like to see a new one based on Thousand Year Door. I don't think they're ever going to do that, but I would like to see it. There's also, I know Thousand Year Door is more of Paper Mario, but whatever. It's all RPGs. Man, I'm really like I could dip back in the dwell and talk about F-Zero and stuff like that, but I kind of like I'm thinking of third-party games. Is it weird that I kind of want a Harry Potter game on Switch?
No.
The thing is, I can't recall a good Harry Potter game. There's been okay ones.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Kyle Bossman play one on Easy Allies on live stream a little bit ago, but I don't know what it is about me. I got this Harry Potter itch recently.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched some of the movies again, and I've read one of the books. I'm like, yeah, this stuff's good. I mean, yeah, the new movies, that are the prequels that aren't as good, but then again, the book wasn't as good. So what do you? The material's not as good as coming from, of course.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, I just want a good Harry Potter game. I don't know if it could possibly. Yeah. Someone out there's probably going to tell me that there's that one really good. Like someone probably mentioned Lego Harry Potter. Oh, here's what I'll say about Lego games. Right, all of the Lego games are good. I don't know if I played even way back in the day, Lego City on PC when that was one of the first like big 3D open kind of Lego games. Even that was alright.
I wasn't a big fan of Lego Batman,
but it's the not original a bad game.
I didn't think it was like great, but.
Here's my thing. I don't think any of the Lego games are great.
Oh, I love Star Wars.
You can love it, but they're all the same.
Star Wars are amazing.
Like when you play one, you basically play the base premise for every single.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like they're repetitive, but that's because. But it's Lego can get away with it because Legos themselves are repetitive. Like that's what it is. It's just a new theme. That's the basis of Legos. You buy Lego sets. It's just a new theme.
Yeah.
So like they can get away with it with the games. That's fine. Like I know people that love Lego Batman. Then they'll play another like Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars feels a lot like Lego Batman. They all feel a lot like each other. They're Lego games. The premise is the same. Just different characters in a different setting.
Oh, God.
Anyways, what are you thinking of?
Oh, God. You mentioned Star Wars, which then leads to Rogue Squadron.
Oh. Problem is EA.
Yeah, I know.
Because they have that exclusivity license. They need... If Disney breaks the exclusivity license and lets someone else make it, yes. 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 Oh, that rumored Star Fox racing game or Star Fox in general? Yes. Next year. Like, I'm asking for every game under the sun at this point. Give me a new top-down Zelda game next year. Just do it. Just
Why
do
not?
it.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
I'd like a Breath of the Wild sequel, but you know what? Give me that top-down Zelda to prove you're not done with top-down Zelda. And then you're probably going to give me some sort of 2D Mario, whether it's New Super Mario Bros. U, which is now rumored as being this year. Maybe it'll be next year. That's a port, though. Or whether it's a new Mario Maker, or whether it's just a new 2D. Like, sure, let's see a new 2D. I think it's hard to follow up Mario Maker, but you know what? Nintendo finds a way. That's another thing. A Zelda Maker would be sweet.
Yeah, that actually
especially
would be
a Zelda Dungeon Maker.
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Like, someone actually had one they were making, and I think it's called Legend Maker. I'm not sure if it's launched yet. It was a fan project that they originally called Zelda Maker, but for copyright reasons changed it out. Made original sprites, blah, blah, blah. But it's basically exactly what we want a Dungeon Maker to make. Just, obviously, Nintendo would have probably a more convenient, easy-to-use UI because they're Nintendo and they have access to more resources. But, God, I'd love to see a Dungeon Maker for Zelda. There's just so many games I'd like to see come back, and so many IPs we haven't seen in a while. That Yoshi game, what the hell is going on with it?
I don't know.
I know people are rumoring that it's called like Yoshi Flip something, but it's like whatever.
Yoshi's Flip Cup.
We don't even playing Tippy Cup. Anyways, I want to see that. Like, I'm actually excited for that. I know it's probably going to be kind of like the Kirby game, where yeah, it's good, but it's kind of sort of not as good as it probably could be. Or maybe it's going to shock me and be amazing, but I don't know because we haven't heard about it in so long.
Yeah.
You know, do we even know when No More Heroes Travis Strikes Again's coming out? Isn't that supposed to be this year? There's just a lot of games I would like to see. I know we didn't talk a lot of third party, but there's pretty much all the mainstream third party games I really want to see. I want to see the Maddens and the FIFAs come back, and NBA 2K's continue.
FIFA's back.
WWE, after they revamp it, have that come back. I know FIFA's back this year, but I'd like a full FIFA using the current engine. I would like to see
Actually,
Call of Duty,
isn't
and
it
even a late port of the new Battlefield coming out, and man, I'm just trying to think of some of the more mainstream third party game offerings. I mean, we got the Starlink Battle for Atlas this year. Let's get another new IP from Ubisoft next year. Why the hell not? Let's get a sequel to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Yeah,
let's do it. You gotta strike. You gotta strike while people still care about it. And they just released DLC this year.
A Zelda one would be kind of cool.
That's the thing. Like, the Mario Plus, like, it's so ripe to bring in other franchises now. Yeah. It works so well. It's like, I could see how Zelda can work with it. I could see how Metroid can work with that. Yeah. Metroid would almost, like, fit in identically. You wouldn't even have to change it. Oh, she shoots an arm cannon. Oh,
look at arm cannon.
Oh, look, Ridley's now it's back. Oh, look, we'll take those moves and put them in the game. Those are melee. Anyways.
Oh.
What?
Rabbids for Smash.
Sure.
Rabbids for Smash.
Rabbids for Smash, sure.
I love me some Rabbids.
Rabbids for Smash. God.
Yes.
Somehow we still got Smash in there.
Why did I not think of this before?
Rabbids. New Punch-Out. That
would be cool. I love Punch-Out.
Well, how would you want it to be? The way Punch-Out has been lately has been a lot of that motion stuff. Mm-hmm. And it works. It's fine. I mean, that's how the arcade version worked for a little bit too. Mm-hmm. So it didn't bother me, but I kind of miss the days of just like the 2 buttons and doing the skill-based thing.
Honestly, you should be able to do it both ways.
I know, but I think they're going to focus on the motion because
motion controls are everything nowadays.
And when they have motion, that's the thing. Like, if as an option, I think it's always fine. But like, sometimes it feels forced. It was just like in New Super Mario Bros. U. One of the big deterrents was they kind of forced you have to use the touchscreen and the microphone at times for things, and it's like, but why? It didn't really make the gameplay better, if we're being honest. Yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, Doom Eternal's coming next year. Wolfenstein Youngblood. Has Youngblood been confirmed? Someone ought to let me know if Youngblood's been actually confirmed to be coming to Switch. I don't remember Youngblood technically being confirmed. I think it's just an assumption. But I could be wrong on that front, so don't quote me. But I can't remember that being confirmed. But yeah, Bayonetta 3, that's coming next year. Lots of good games coming next year. I would love to see. I know it's not going to happen, and it's definitely not happening next year because the game's a ways off. The new Elder Scrolls game they announced at E3 this year. Just confirmation it's coming to Switch. I know they said it's basically next gen, and it's going to be forever. But God, I really want to see that confirmed, especially after we got Skyrim. We got Skyrim. So we got the setup. Let's get the next one.
Right.
I don't even know if Switch can handle it. I don't even care. I don't care if it looks like an 8-bit game.
Like I said, the Switch can handle it.
Yeah.
Now they can run it well.
Make it an 8-bit game, an 8-bit version. I don't care.
I love me some 8-bit.
Mr. Snappy Jaws popped in and said, "Notice the comments, please." We were looking at the comments. I don't know what "please stand for pretzel" means.
I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
All right. Moving on to
last topic.
Our last topic. So, according to the MPD Game Acquisition Monitor, at the end of Q1, ballpark of 70% of people in the United States that owned a Switch also owned a PlayStation 4 and or an Xbox One. Cross ownership across all three consoles is pretty high compared to prior gens. Each system is differentiated enough that a big chunk of people that are into console gaming own multiple systems. Now, arguing primary versus secondary doesn't make any sense. Each box does its own thing, and each does it well. This is a quote directly from the MPD. So,
fanboyism out the window.
that's basically what I read out of this. I read out of this as like, so fanboyism maybe isn't as big a deal as people think. It's probably what I think I've always thought it was. The people who run to the comment section and bitch are like that. It's very minor, like a small minority of.
They are a very loud minority.
Yeah, so we end up with this idea that
they're everywhere.
70% of people own a Switch, own a PlayStation 4, and or an Xbox One. So you either own all three or you own one. And like some people arguing primary versus secondary doesn't make any sense. I think the point that goes in that direction is some people I know that own a PlayStation 4 and Switch have told me that Switch started out as their secondary platform, but now it's become their primary. So like, and I think that's an interesting conundrum where you own multiple systems, and I think for different periods of your life, one becomes your primary. Like I think one of our fans, Mark Greenberg, is an example. Switch was his primary. This year, it's kind of flipped to PlayStation 4, but next year it could flip back to Switch. I think it just goes back and forth which system's getting the content you want to play, as it should be. It shouldn't be about what system is the best and rah-rah Sony, rah-rah Microsoft, rah-rah Nintendo. It should just be what platform has the games you want to play. I mean, that's what your primary platform is in the moment.
I mean, I get it, but at the same point in time, I don't.
So I just think it's kind of cool.
It's like cheering for your favorite team.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it.
But
it's cool.
But at the same point in time, it's like,
cool.
Whatever. It's a game. You're gamers. We're all, it's fun. As long as it's good-natured ribbing, we're all gamers. It's fun. But you start getting those hardcore, this is the only thing that's right. The other shouldn't exist. No.
Right.
No thanks.
Right. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for the podcast portion of this. Please stay tuned if you're watching the live stream. We're going to have a Q&A here coming up immediately after. We're not restarting the stream. We just kind of do a sign out for the audio version. Those that are listening, no worries. We'll be going back to our regular format next week. So you're like, if you are a subscriber on Patreon, you're going to start getting it actually early for like you're supposed to. So I do a big apology to our patrons for that. But we are back to normal next week, and if I have my way, we're going to be back up to 3 or 4 people for the first time in like 2 or 3 months.
Wait, what?
It's been forever.
Wow.
We're going to be back up to 3 or 4 people.
Wait, did you actually find Darren?
I think he's still lost in the sea of I finally have a girlfriend.
Is he alive?
I don't even know.
Oh.
He is alive. He's on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't respond to me. He just he'll like something I post once in a while. It's like, okay, respond then, man.
Yeah, right.
Let me know you're alive. Anyways.
Right.
So that's going to do it.